Elmsley Ray of Elm. A card counting technique used to hide the third card, and I thought this was a technique that I absolutely didn't need to teach. This thing feels like anyone can do it, but what? I'm finding more and more that to really get this done well, or even say it's just the right person, not very much. Sorry friends, I'm late. Every time I see someone do this wrong, or when it's done badly, I'm just out of breath. Is that I will find. A lot of people have some weird bad habits. For example, the inexplicable counting of cards. Or rather, a sudden acceleration. And the most outrageous thing is, steal this card when counting cards. It's actually in the other finger seam. How could anyone practice their technique like this? How about more people? What about some bad habits? It's just different when counting each card. Like this, for example, on the second card count, suddenly pull the card this way from the edge with your thumb. So these are some of the things that we did in Elmstrom. Bad habits that need to be broken urgently. So today's lesson will be divided into two parts. What about the first part? I will teach Elmshire this action completely and carefully. At the same time, I am in the process of teaching. It will tell you some mistakes and habits that need to be avoided. What about the second part? I'll tell you a little bit about it. I'm practicing the little tricks in this technique myself. There are also some relatively neutral small changes. If you like it, you can try it. So let's not talk much. Let's just get started. Alright, welcome to our Elm Ray class. The first part, how should this action be done? Everyone knows, Elmshire is a card counting technique used to hide the third card. Here I want to suggest to you, always use a card with a white edge to perform this trick, because many times the third card is flipped, or different colored cards. What if there is no white edge? When pushing the card in the second step, a little bit of place is exposed. It will be very obvious. Start formal teaching. Elmshire, I think split into two hands. Teaching demos separately is the best way. Let's demonstrate the left hand with just two cards. Our left hand movement is very simple. First of all, take the cards like this. If you have smaller hands, where are the corners? They might be here. What about this move? Kind of. We usually go to grab a deck of cards, but not very consistent. His goal is to use your index finger and palm to form a corner here, used to ensure that every time the cards are counted, they stay in the same position. And our left hand movement is also very simple. It's using our thumbs. Place the top card on the deck. Dial it like this. Stay in the palm of your hand. Dial it down and stay in the palm of your hand. Cycle. There is only one action. After speaking about the left hand, let's talk about the coordination of two hands. The main force of our right hand is the thumb, index, and middle finger. The rest of the fingers basically play a supporting role. Here we need four cards to demonstrate this process. And we all know that what Elm is hiding is the third card. So we flip it over. To facilitate our teaching, grab the right edge of the card with our three fingers. As for catching a little bit up and a little bit down, the problems here are not very big. So here's the first step. Peel off the first card with our left hand. Here's a little trick. Just poking our index finger at the top edge of the deck. Put the first card with our thumbs. Rub the upper left corner of the card like this. So you can peel off a card very easily. Stripping away our first card. Next, our right hand does a push-off. That is, our second card and the hidden third card. Push it out together. It's like a card. And the process is pretty straightforward. Just use the fingertips of our right thumb to touch the edge of the card. What if you launch it again? It is natural to introduce these two cards at the same time. Peel off one and push two. And I'm going to hand these two cards to my left hand. At the same time, the left hand will take the bottom card. That's the first card we stripped. Return to the right hand, the bottom of the card. Steal it back. So again, we have two cards in our right hand. At the same time, the left hand is also two cards. Now turn the third card up. Fourth card. That completes our Elmsley count. Here we go again. We'll explain it with four cards with numbers on them. Note that the card we want to hide is the third card. You will notice that in the whole process of counting the cards, the third card never appears. First, the left hand strips the first card. Right hand push off. Hand the second and third cards to the left hand at the same time. At the same time, the left hand returns the first card to the right hand. Count down the fourth card. At the same time, the first card is counted twice. Okay, we'll do it again. One card with the left hand. Right hand pushes off two cards. At the same time, the left hand returns the first card to the right hand. Number 3, number 4. Okay, that's the whole way our Elmsley count. Well, here's one thing to keep in mind. It is in the process of swapping this card with our left hand. Don't change the position of your right hand. As long as the left hand takes this card, just insert it back under the whole deck of cards on the right hand. The right hand doesn't need to release the card or do something special, and don't even try to stick your cards in weird places, like this. I mean, it was natural. Just let the left hand insert this card. This requires our right hand to be more relaxed. What if you use a lot of force when pinching the cards? When stealing another card or inserting it back, will be blocked. Another thing to note is, the move of holding the card in the left hand should always be uniform. The thumb always lands in the same place. There is no saying the first card is held like this, the second card is like this, the third card is like this, and the fourth card is like this. What about when you first peel off the first card? Maybe there is such a small card, but it's not such a huge problem. It gets faster and faster as you practice. And finally, almost disappeared. Last, that is, it affects whether our whole action looks good. Is it true? The most important factor? It's rhythm. Rhythm is everything. Elmcheer, it's not a quick move. We don't need a sudden acceleration on the second one to hide our process of counting too. It should be the same rhythm. Count each card as consistently as possible. The second part of teaching. A little trick that I use a lot of the time. There are also some little habits you can try. First is the first. When we strip the first card, it's pushing in the direction of the upper left corner. So, compared to the traditional more horizontal counting cards, you can also try counting the cards to the upper left corner. And it's very fluid sometimes. Second point, it is the role of the ring and little fingers of our right hand. We all know these two fingers. Basically, it is in a supporting role. Even if you don't use it, it doesn't affect your card count. But here's a little trick you can try. You can use the ring finger or the little finger of your right hand. The position of the card on the right hand is like the index finger and palm of the left hand. That is, when you place the card with your left hand. What about when you return it to the right hand? You can use your ring finger or your little finger. Go jam this card. This ensures that your two cards are very neat. What if you do? Both your hands will have a very stable positioning angle. The index finger and palm of the left hand. The little or ring finger of the right hand. Article 3. It's one of my most common habits. So first, let's look at the card counting process. Peel off the first one with the left hand. Then right hand we did a push-up. That is to say, before handing the two cards from the right hand to the left hand. In fact, one of the cards below them has already leaked. So here my habit is. When we hand the left hand card back to the right hand, do another push-up with your right hand. And count the third and fourth cards. This guarantees the continuity of the number of cards per card. So why don't we do the second push-up? It looks like this. Do it like this. The next little move. It doesn't seem to have any particular effect. It doesn't make it look real, but it looks nice. Or what? It's very refreshing to count. And the traditional way that we would do that is to pan out and count the cards. We can use our left hand and apply a force down at the same time. Turn it into a sweep down. Now, the fun of doing this trick is doing it with two cards. Okay, that's all we have for this issue. And here are a few more. I don't know how many people saw it. Then I'm here. Let me add a little bit of knowledge to you. We all know that. What happens when we count Elmcheer? The hidden card will run to the fourth card position. That's why we often see people counting the cards. What if you want to count for the second time? People do this kind of thing. Although I don't think this number needs to be done twice. But you always put the last card in the count at the bottom. Always feel weird. So how do we solve this problem? So if we want to hide a card when it is already in the fourth position, we can count the cards like this. Counting cards normally for the first time. The second time, count the cards normally again. The third time, the 2 cards on the right hand include the third card and the fourth card. The cards to be hidden are handed to the left hand at the same time. At the same time, steal the last card in the left hand. Count the fourth card. So we have to hide the cards. It's back to the third one. Do it again. We're going to hide the card in the fourth position. We normally count cards. Normal count of cards. Hand both cards to the left hand at the same time. At the same time, steal back the card below the left hand. Count the fourth card. So he's back to the third card. Then someone else has to ask. So if we want to hide the card in the second position. So how do we do this? First, we steal the bottom card with our right hand. It is equivalent to us taking the 3 cards above. Count the cards at the same time. Then place the right-hand card on the top of the whole card. Be an elm who doesn't steal cards and count the cards directly. What do you mean? Steal it out and count it on it. Here's the second one. Do a push-up at the same time. Play 2 cards at the same time. Do not steal the card back under your right hand at this time. Just count these 2 cards. Hey, this card is back to the position of the third card. Let's do it together. Steal a card and put it on top. Steal 2 cards. 3, 4. The last little Easter egg. If you are in the third card position, what about 2 flipped cards? And then we do a crazy Elm Ray number, and this is what happens. First time, no cards turned over. Second time, turn a card over. Third time, 2 cards turned over. Fourth time, turn a card over. Fifth hand, no cards turned over, and you can go around like this. Useless, but fun, right?